Episode 61 of the Thunder Underground podcast is here. My name is Trent, and as always, I'm joined by Jason.
Hello, hello.
Hello. This week, man.
This is a good one.
Reed Mullin.
Yes.
And if you don't recognize that name, you will recognize the name Corrosion of Conformity.
Definitely.
If you don't recognize that name, push stop and go fuck yourself. Sorry to get too blunt with it. But, see, I thought about this before we started recording. I'm like, how will I do this without fanboying out at some point? But
well, I figured we can fanboy now, right?
That's right. We're not doing the interview.
That's right.
The professional part is over, and now we can run our mouths.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But anyone that knows me or knows Jason knows we've been massive fans of COC since we were teenagers. And so this was very cool to be able to get anyone from the band and to get Reed, who's been there from day one.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I mean, he was gone for a little bit, but, he's been there through the bulk of everything. And we've got a great talk with him, near 40 minutes, coming up here in just a bit, talking about everything from just music and Motorhead to what COC's got coming up and some other stuff he's been doing.
Yeah, we talked about Teenage Time Killer.
Yes.
A pretty cool Nicko McBrain story, so.
Oh, yeah. Before we get to all that, though, we're going to play some music. And as always, we like to tell you, thethunderunderground@gmail.com is our email. And you can send us MP3s or send us your band page so we can check you out. If you want us to play you, if you want us to review your album, or just know about you, whatever, shoot us an email. The website is thethunderunderground.com. Everything's on there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, and of course SoundCloud, which is what hosts everything. We've got 60 other podcasts for you to go check out and find out about. One of those podcasts was episode 48, which featured all 4 members of Screaming Red Mutiny. And I bring that up because that's the track we're about to play.
Hell yes.
Yeah, on that episode, I believe it was that episode, right?
Yeah.
We played their first single from their forthcoming EP called Last Goodbye. Well, the single's called Last Goodbye. And they've got a new single that they just put out here in the last Hand Grenade Serenade from Screaming Red Mutiny. That's the second song they've put out so far from this EP that they've got coming out in June. And they're going to be playing at Rocklahoma like 2 or 3 times.
Oh, yeah, we'll see them.
Yeah, they're playing the stage in the General Mission Campground, which is called the GA Rock Stage. It's a new stage. It's the first year. And they're also playing Camp Yeager, which has been out there for almost, not every year, but most of the years.
I thought it has been every year.
No, well, Stacy and Fred, the people that run it, have been out there every year. And they've had stuff set up, but they didn't start bands until like year 2 or 3.
Okay, gotcha.
But anyway, Screaming Red Mutiny's playing that stage, and looking forward to seeing, big time. As this may sound like I'm kissing ass, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing Screaming Red Mutiny almost as much as I'm looking forward to seeing Scorpions and Hatebreed.
Yeah, because, these guys are so strong. Yeah. And these tunes they're banging out are just crazy. And I think everybody's got some anticipation for this band. Yeah,
this will be their first live shows ever together as a band. Like, they just formed here in the last, few months. And on that last podcast, the podcast we had them on, number 48, we recorded it at the studio when they were recording some of these songs. And, they were cool enough to invite us in early before the interview. And we saw John laying down some guitar tracks.
Yeah, yeah. And,
yeah, both these songs are phenomenal. And this one, I like this one even better than the first one. I think you said the same thing.
Yeah, I like Sprout's phrasing in the verses. I think is really cool. The solo's badass. I even like how the beginning of the solo and like Sprout's vocals, they like kind of melt together, before Sprout's vocals fade out, and the same kind of melody. That's really smart.
Yeah.
And it just and the sound is just stellar. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys live. Finally.
Yeah, his vocals, he's really expanded what people know him for from Kingshifter.
Yeah.
He has a great voice, he always has, but this is just even more melodic, and the chorus of this thing is just insane. I'm a sucker for anything hard rock or metal that's got that's melodic like that, and a hook, yeah. And another cool thing is, a ton of songs you hear, the guitars and the vocals are what stand out, and, the bass and drums are just there to keep it together, and they kind of get lost sometimes, but they don't at all with this. Like, you really hear, like, you're listening to this and you hear that bass,
Yeah, you get everything.
The drumming's stellar as well. All four of these guys are awesome musicians, and, like, we can't gush about them enough.
That's right.
Yeah, and they're, like we said, they've got 2 or 3 performances at Rocklahoma, which is Memorial Day weekend. If you're going to be out there, do not miss them. And then in June, they're playing June 10th. They're doing a release. They're calling it the digital release, so I don't know if they're putting the CD out later on, but that's in Wichita on June 10th. And then June 11th, they're heading to Kansas City for a release. And then the next weekend, they're back in Tulsa on June 18th at Billy and Renee's with our good friend Steve Ray and Oklahombres.
Yes.
So that's a hell of a lineup right there.
That's going to be a barn burner of a show.
Yeah. 2 bands that we can't say we know Screaming Red Mutiny bring it live, but we've seen all these guys in their own bands bringing it live, so they're gonna.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we want to talk about before we get into COC, there's something else I want to say.
Yeah.
I mentioned King Shifter, and the drummer of King Shifter, his wife, I believe fiance, I'm not going to say for sure if I know that right, but she's one of the top 10 finalists for Miss Rocklahoma.
Okay.
Of course, if you follow us on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, every Saturday we do a thing called Metal Chick Saturday where we post a picture of a girl wearing, representing a band somehow, whether it be a t-shirt or a tattoo or a hat or whatever. This past week, we posted her again for the second time. We just wanted to throw a shout out and say you need to get on rocklahoma.com, and right in the middle of the page there's a thing that says vote for Miss Rocklahoma. There's 10 finalists, but all you need to do is click Jenn and hit vote.
That's right.
And you can do that every day this week up until May 15th.
Exactly. And the Metal Chick Saturday is probably my favorite part of our Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, hit that hashtag, and I've noticed there's a few other people that have taken to that hashtag, but we were the first.
We were the first, goddammit. And
when we hit that with that first girl wearing a Slayer shirt, that's the first post in that hashtag.
Exactly. And you know what? We each kind of take charge of, a separate Instagram thing, You do the Metal Chick Saturday, and I have to say you do a damn good job of it.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
I have high standards.
I know you do. I know you do.
But anyway, another thing is we've talked to Jenn, and we're going to have her on the podcast and record that out there at Rocklahoma.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, she does a lot of stuff. She's a model. She works for a radio station in Wichita as one of their hype girls, for the concerts. And, she's another thing is a lot of time these concerts have women in it that just entered because they're a model and they're looking for some kind of ego boost.
Yeah.
But this woman is a really true, just like any of us, diehard fan of music.
Yeah.
I know she's a massive fan of Seven Dust and Soil and Drowning Pool. I've seen, this on her stuff. And, so just, like I said, go vote for her and be on the lookout for that probably in June on our podcast.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, like we said, Corrosion of Conformity, Reed Mullin.
That's right. Now time to get down to the business at hand. This is one of the highlights, one of the big ones.
Yeah.
And, the other night we got to go see COC, Clutch, and Lamb of God at the Brady Theater in Tulsa. All 3 bands were amazing. But I think, and I think you'll back me up, COC, Corrosion of Conformity was the band we were most wanting to see.
Absolutely.
Because we're both, since we were teenagers, just crazy, huge fans, and they hadn't played in forever, and it was so nice to see these guys back together, and, they jammed it out. It was a killer set. It was a highlight of the evening for me. I mean, I'll say it right now.
Yeah. I mean, this is an amazing triple bill, and all 3 of these bands, we've talked about on the podcast before, are ones you would go see any day of the week by themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So you put it together, it's just unbelievable. But for me, like I said, it had been 10 years since I'd seen, this lineup with Pepper and back in the band. And so that's all I was thinking about.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I knew I'm going to see Clutch and Lamb of God. It's going to be great. But it was just weird. As much as I loved both those bands, I rarely ever thought about it.
Yeah.
Like leading up to the show.
Yeah, it was all COC, yeah.
Yeah, once COC was done, then I'm like, I'm going to get to see Clutch right now. This is amazing.
I know, it's like a bonus.
Yeah.
Well, what'd you think of COC set? I mean, they played The Door.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we knew it was going to be a short one since they were the third band. And they played 40 minutes, is that right?
I think
45.
so.
And I think it was about 45, which was longer than I expected. And they had a couple points in, I guess, in Clean My Wounds, and then maybe in the beginning of Paranoid Opioid. And maybe in the middle of that.
They kind of...
Where they jammed and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they had a good set for being a third band down. And so a lot has to be said for Lamb of God and their crew for giving COC and Clutch better time than most people would.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because a lot of times that band in that COC slot might get 25 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Clutch might get 40 minutes. But they got 50 or 55. So, I mean, it was... But, yeah, like you said, The Door was a pleasant surprise. And, you know, I mean, it was dominant on Deliverance like you expected.
Yeah.
7 Days. Broken Man, which is an amazing song. And then, of course, Albatross and Clean My Wounds.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that... I think what drew me to COC when I was young, and I don't know, I can't speak for you, but you know, we loved heavy music, we loved metal, and that was there. But we also liked newer bands, and you know what the newer, heavier stuff was doing, and it just Deliverance, that album just kind of came together and kind of married those two sounds. You know, you had the heaviness of, you know, the metal, and but it sounded kind of new. And then you had this kind of southern twist to it and this kind of groove. And it was just like nothing we'd ever heard, really. Right. It was like it was like, you know, a Black Sabbath for us. Yeah. If that makes any sense. Not that we don't love Black Sabbath, because we do, but it was just like, this was ours, you know. And, I think one of the things that I think really helped that kind of, you know, helped him stand out was Reed Mullin's drumming. Because really before that in metal, it was all straight ahead, you know, just fast and, you know, pulsing. And Reed, you know, he's got a lot of Bill Ward in him, got a lot of groove. He knows when to, you know, hang back, and he knows when to, you know, anticipate and just wait for a cool accent rather than just, you know, cramming it down your throat all the time. And, you know, so to see all that and get to talk to Reed it was just amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that too, because I mean, he came from the, you know, they started as like a punk band, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, you don't see punk drummers usually hanging back, like you said, in that style, but.
Well, that just tells you the diversity.
Yeah.
And the wanting to do different stuff and to challenge yourself. It really does.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, Black Sabbath, it's almost like Black Sabbath and Lynyrd Skynyrd combined.
Oh, I know.
And, you know, and that's, you know, I'm a big fan of, you know, I've never got super deep into it, but I'm a huge fan of like stoner rock or whatever you want to call it. Sludge, doom, whatever, you know, it all kind of varies. But, COC is the first band that really got me into that. And around Monster Magnet around the same time. Yeah. Because they came out with Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Yeah. That's not the name of the album, right? That's the name of the song. But anyway, that album.
Yeah. Dopes to Infinity.
Yeah, Dopes to Infinity. But, you know, that was out around the same time as Deliverance, and those are the two albums that really got me into that style of stuff. Yeah. Pushed me just from the standard hard rock and metal and thrash metal and whatever that we were always into. Yeah. And yeah, you can't say, and you know, the thing that drew me in obviously was Pepper Keenan's voice and just those riffs from him and Woody. And, you know, another cool thing about it is, you know, it's both of them, you know, the solos, the riffs.
Yeah, they both, exactly.
You know, you don't know what's from song to song, you know, they trade off and they're all involved. Like, you know, Reed does a lot of backing vocals, and like he mentions in the interview, he's wrote lyrics, and of course they all have a hand in writing the music. Yeah. So it's a real collaborative band, and you know, you can always tell that with bands when it's at another level.
Yeah, I know.
That it's more than one person usually.
I know. Which, that's crazy that you kind of delved so much into the stoner rock world, I mean, you're about as stoner as Billy Graham is, you know? But me too, though. So I don't know,
Yeah.
But it's just got that sound, it's a groove. It really, I think it comes down to groove.
Yeah.
So, all joking aside, I think that's what it is.
But just, I mean, I like their stuff. I like Blind a lot, and the previous albums, and even we talked about the self-titled album and 9 and all that. I've listened to it all and I like it all.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing, just those things I like a lot. But when it comes to the Pepper era, it's one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah, true.
And it's like that string of albums: Deliverance, Wise Blood, America's Volume Dealer, and In the Arms of God. That's
your jam.
Yeah. That's,
Hell yeah.
I mean, what more can you say?
That's right.
And so I'm like, that's like my most anticipated album of anything here in the next year for whenever it comes out.
Oh, I can't even fathom what, I don't know. I just can't, dude. I don't know. I'm speechless, as you can see. I just don't know what's going to be in store. It's got to be amazing. I know it will be. I mean, for me, I think my favorite out of all those is America's Volume Dealer. And I know that, some people might be like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, I love Deliverance. It's epic. It's monumental. But I don't know. America's Volume Dealer just hits it for me somehow. Who's got the fire? How could you write a better fucking song than that?
Yeah.
I mean, really, I could hit repeat on that song.
Stare Too Long. It's so diverse.
Yeah, exactly.
When you compare it to the other ones, it's got, like you said, Who's Got the Fire, Stare Too Long, Over Me, or Over You.
Yeah.
And then,
dude,
Diablo Boulevard.
That's right, dude.
That song's in my head every other day, and I haven't heard it in like months.
I got in fights defending that album.
Yeah.
But, anyways. But yeah, this was just such a treat to get to talk to Reed. He was so engaging and, had stories and was, just excited. I mean, it was super cool. I mean, you couldn't ask for more. It was just really awesome.
Yeah, we met up with him after the show, like completely after everything, after Lamb of God.
Yeah.
And, he had a place already picked out. He had walked around downtown, he said earlier in the day, with Randy from Lamb of God.
Yeah.
And he found like a place there in downtown where it was just like a staircase that led up to some door, some old abandoned building, I think.
Yeah.
And, we just hung out there for 40 minutes or so and recorded this interview. And I mean, it's, like I said, fanboy moment. It's like, did you think when you were 16, you would be sitting on the stoop in downtown Tulsa talking to Reed Mullin for 45 minutes or something?
Hell no, but
I'd have pissed my pants.
Yeah,
off.
No kidding. But see, that's the thing. And it's like we talked about is, we're at the age now where, I mean, we understand, I mean, as fanboys as we are, we're not like, morons. So we can, separate the fanboy from, what the job at hand. And it was just, it was really cool. And I don't think I could have handled it at 16.
No.
So now at 39, I'm glad that I get to just, have a conversation and, you always have these, man, if I met this guy, I'd ask him this, but you always think, man, I'd be so nervous. Well, not now. I mean, because it's just, it's what we do and it's, it just comes, it works out. So, I mean, yeah, I'm just going to quit blabbering on because, it was just awesome. What can I say?
Yeah. Well, let's do it. Let's get into it right now.
Plays the Slayer now.
Oh, Exodus.
Exodus. Oh, not an O, it was an E. Yeah.
Watch out, I have Pete over here.
Yeah, I didn't see Exodus till like we did one of those metal cruises. Actually, we did 3.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I ever saw Exodus. They were killer.
Right on. How are those cruises? Those are crazy to play on.
They are. It's a weird like cultural thing now where it's almost become all the people that go to the cruises.
Yeah.
And they like hang out. They get save all their nickels and dimes and shit. Waiting to do the metal cruise, whatever metal cruise they like to do, like whether it's 70,000 tons or, well, I guess it's not going to be a motorboat anymore.
Yeah.
But,
Someone just told me today that they claim they're going to do it again.
they're what?
They claim that they're supposed to do one again
Like
early
one
next
last
year.
one.
Oh, one last one? We
Yeah.
just have guest singers come
Yeah,
up
I
or
don't know.
something?
I don't know. That's weird.
Someone else headlining, I guess. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Well,
that
you
would
guys
be
did
weird.
Motorboat last year, right?
We did Motorboat last year, yeah, and Pep had done with Down the year before. And the one we did, man, it was kind of, it was sad because when you saw Lemmy up there, you're like, damn. And I had seen him like about 6 months ago at Dave Grohl's birthday party out at the Forum in L.A., and he had all these different guest singers come up during their show. It was like Alice Cooper and fucking David Lee Roth and like all these different people come up. Dude from Black Label, what's his name?
Zach Wild.
Zach Wild, yeah. All these different people. And anyway, Lemmy was last, and yeah, they had to help him on stage, and it was like, fuck. And when you saw him, you're like, dude, that dude's sick.
Yeah.
He is not well.
Yeah, we saw him last September, and he looked pretty frail, but...
Oh, you saw him in September?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was right before, huh?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Chicago. And
I mean, he played good when we saw him.
Yeah, it sounded good.
Yeah, but it's you could tell it was just he was getting there. Yeah, for sure.
He's funny. Like, we ambushed him. He was opening for Alice Cooper in the '80s or something like that. Sometime, and me and Woody went down. Was in Charlotte, North Carolina. We ambushed him and gave him a bunch of COC shirts, and he went, "Oh, I know this. It's the second best skull logo in rock and roll." I was like, "Yeah, all right." Anyway,
That's a good one to be under, you know.
oh yeah. I'd say the Misfits are a little higher than us, but.
Did you come up with that logo?
Mike Dean came up with the idea. Originally, the spikes were MX missiles, because it's all Cold War kind of shit when we were first starting, and we got a buddy of ours that I went to high school with named Errol, who's a big tattoo artist now. We got him to draw it for us, and we used it to make some T-shirts. We're like, fuck, man, people love this thing. We ought to buy it from him. So we gave him $150. Which was more than he asked for. He asked for like 100 or something. That was a lot of money. We were in high school. That was a lot of money to us, right? Anyway, we got him to sign a receipt on a napkin.
Yeah.
We were at some coffee shop or something. Anyway, to this day, he's still so mad he sold it to us. Because we made millions of dollars off that fucking logo.
Shit,
you know what I mean?
shit. You don't even have to put the band name. You could just have that logo and people know what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Believe it
That's
or not-
awesome.
Yeah. Believe it or not, you're not going to believe this, but it's true. I tell you, it's true. I met somebody, because I've seen maybe thousands of the skull tattoo, over the last 30 years, right? And I met some kid who got one, and he said he got it without knowing it was a band at first. Like, he found out later. He's like, yeah, it was so fucking cool. It was on the board or whatever. So I was like, I'm going to get that. Isn't that hilarious? He got the logo without even knowing it was a band.
That's great. That's great.
A friend of mine told me someone did that with Alice in Chains. That thing from Dirt where it's like the circular sun. Like he knew someone that did the same thing. Just got it because it looked cool and then found out later it was Alice in Chains.
Oh, no shit. Oh, that's killer.
But talk about this lineup. I mean, that's pretty... I mean, you see a lot of good triple bills, but this one's like 3 bands that are like, just
super strong and great.
Yeah. Amazing live.
3
so
different
like,
flavors of, I don't know if you call clutch metal, but or us kind of metal sometimes, but yeah, fucking heavy music. All 3 are badass, and all the folks in the bands are super cool, man. It's like going on a camping trip with all your best buds, like fucking. I only knew Randy from doing the Teenage Time Killers thing, but I didn't know the other guys, but they're all super cool too. We've known the Clutch guys for a million years.
Right.
Yeah. I've seen you guys do them for all, forever.
Yeah. And, they've stayed on it, so they've gotten, pretty massive for the type of music or whatever. But this is cool for all of us, particularly us in Clutch, because Lamb draw some younger kids that wouldn't necessarily come see Clutch or COC.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and they get those the kids that get here early so they can get up close.
Yeah, exactly.
So you
yeah,
got a
exactly.
captive audience.
Yeah. Like Pepper tonight, and he did it last night too. Asked how many people had seen COC before. Tonight was a little bit more than last night. Last night was maybe like a quarter of the people were like, "Whoa, what the?" But yeah, no, it's cool. It's you know, this is only a show 3, I think.
Yeah,
but it's already like, fuck. Yeah.
Well, you know, talk about the timing for this lineup to come back together. I mean, what made it now, or last year, I think, kind of, and then. You know, who made kind of the first contact of, you know...
Well, Pepper and I have been in contact with each other for a while, and it was like more he and I getting, you know, getting together and getting things happening.
Yeah.
You know, he'd been so busy with Down for so long. Yeah. And we finally decided, let's go ahead and do this. Yeah. And then it was more logistics thing, like he had Down stuff happening. We were still doing a little bit of 3-piece punk rock COC stuff. And it was funny that somehow it got out that he and I were talking and going to make it happen. And Monty Connor, who used to be with Roadrunner, an A&R guy with Roadrunner, I think he might even sign Lamb of God, I don't remember, is now with Nuclear Blast. And he got wind of it, and he was like, he called me up, and he was like, dude, is this true? Are you and Pepper talking? Are you going to do the COC Pepper Deliverance thing? I was like, yeah, no, I think it's going to happen. And we're all fucking, you know, just waiting for the right time, book some shows and see how it is. And he's like, well, listen, Deliverance was my favorite album of all of the 90s. I was like, whoa, that's a bold statement. It's like, no, seriously, it's not just my favorite COC album, it's of the 90s. It was like, cool, well, I guess I'll call you when we know more. He said, no, I'm going to sign you guys. He was like emphatic about it. I'm like, okay. So sure enough, for like a year and a half, and I'm not exaggerating, he called me, texted me, and emailed me every month.
Wow.
So what's going on? You guys there yet? I was like, dude, we're close. And finally, when it was like, yeah, we're there, we're, you know, booking a tour in Europe, he was like, oh, okay. So we started talking to him and a couple other labels, and sure enough, he signed us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So he had a plan. He was on
He had a plan. He was on it, dude. Well, and the coolest thing about Nuclear Blast, too, is not just him, but all sorts of people in that label are, like, excited about us, and they're enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And, man, you can give a band a bunch of money, but you can't put a price on that kind of enthusiasm.
Right.
Particularly people that know the band, and they know not just Deliverance, but they know the backstory, too. So anyway, yeah, it worked out, and we did some touring in Europe, and that was sort of like the litmus test, the barometer to see if, you know, if we could get along, which was important, but if it was fun, and dude, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And we were killing it, too. I mean, it was like, wow. It was funny, when we first started doing rehearsals, we were talking about what songs we were going to do.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to base it mostly around the Deliverance album and Wise Blood a little bit, but mainly Deliverance. And all of us wrote a big song, but they put in a couple songs from the album that I didn't play on.
Yeah.
And it's not like I disliked those songs or that album or something, but I was just kind of like, I thought this was a Deliverance thing. I don't want to. Plus the 2 songs they picked, like 6 minutes long. I was like, fuck. So anyway, when we started rehearsals, I was like, all right, listen, guys, I'll do one of them. But I don't want to do 2, man. I don't want to take away from maybe a Deliverance song we could play or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, we rehearsed both of them, and I was like, fuck, these are great! Let's do them both! So it worked out good.
And now you're opening one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I think I play Paranoid Opioid a little better than Stanton more. I love Stanton. He was at the show in New Orleans, but
Nice.
But yeah. I'm a little more COC than he is.
Yeah.
He's a good jazz drummer.
Yeah.
He's a great jazz drummer.
Yeah. But you probably got the COC theme down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. A little more familiar with their work.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, me, Mike, and Woody, we learned how to play music together.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just like learning rudimentary punk rock.
Yeah.
I got a drum set for Christmas when I was 15 or 16, and it was Woody that showed me how to play like the Ramones beat that.
Yeah.
Right? He showed me how to play drums, and the singer this time showed me the cut time, the hardcore beat. And we were off, dude. A month later, we had COC.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's all you needed to know back then. But we developed it from there. You know, we were all Sabbath fans, Deep Purple and shit like that. So not only was it Black Flag and Bad Brains and all other kind of punks rock stuff, but we, like a lot of people don't know it, but on Eye for an Eye, our first album, one of the songs is really just Symptom of the Universe by Sabbath sped up. And we did like Priest version of Green Manalishi. We had part of Cornucopia by Sabbath in there. So like we've been into metal for a long time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's why they call us a crossover band.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, as far as you said, getting signed to Nuclear Blast, were you guys not tied up in anything with the 2 albums you did when Pepper wasn't there? Like on a label?
No.
Not-
I think that label. Yeah, I think that label. I think they might have gone out of business. To be honest with you, we didn't have anything to do with that. But yeah, I think they might have. I think they may call it a day. Candlelight is what they were called. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's been an interesting run. There's got a lot of different flavors of COC. You got the old hardcore thing, then you got the blind thing, which is an anomaly. It's just like that bridge between punk rock to where we are now, or the Pepper, or I wouldn't call it doom. I wouldn't call it stoner. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got a little bit of a groove.
Aspects of groovy. Yeah. And Pepper's got a southern sounding voice, so I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we've been doing rehearsals in Raleigh. Pep flew up a couple times, and we've been working on stuff. Collabo stuff, assemblage of riffs. I think if anybody, if you're a COC fan, you're gonna be stoked. If you're a COC fan with Pepper singing, like. You're going to be super stoked on this new album because it's fucking going to be sick. Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
what's the status? Do you guys have a timetable or a date lined up or anything?
We're supposed to be in the studio right now, but Randy and the Clutch guys wanted us to open this thing, and we were like, fuck. We're supposed yeah. Well, it really was, you know, because like we were just talking about it. We're getting to play to people that have never seen us before. Yeah. Which is, you know, it's a big thing. To date, we've been playing to a lot of people that are already sold. Yeah. You know, they already know it, which is great. But this is great too. So I guess what we're gonna do is for the first time ever, we're gonna try and write on the road, like write and kind of record a little bit, demo as much as we can because we got 6. How long is this thing? Let's see.
Through the end of May.
It's kind of long. It's till June.
Oh, it's in June.
June 11th. Is that right? Yeah. So we got a little time.
Yeah.
And we were thinking, fuck, dude. You know, we're supposed to be in the studios. So we're going to try and, we got a little recording thing in the back. Record as much riffs and get Pepper to start scribbling words and stuff. I write words too, like I wrote the words for that song Albatross.
Okay.
So there'll be a little, collabo and all that kind of stuff too.
Cool.
But so we're gonna try and do that, and then as soon as we get back, we're just gonna bury ourselves in it.
Nice.
Because we're super motivated too. We want to get this thing done. But it's interesting because we want this to be one of the best, if not the best, COC records ever, right? So we want to spend time on it, but we don't want to spend too much time because we want to get it out.
Yeah.
So it's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's some people that want to tour with us in November, December. So we're kind of like thinking, all right, if we have this window, we'll just fucking. Sometimes I think our band works better with deadlines as opposed to just like open-ended. If we know we have a deadline, then we work harder and faster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the goal is to try to get it done before November or the end of the year, probably.
Well, get it as far along as possible. Yeah, I mean, if I had my druthers, I'd do as much as we can on there and get in the studio and try and start doing tracks. Yeah. I'd like to cut the drums either at, we're talking about going to the studio in Bogalusa, Louisiana. Pepper found the place. It's an old school Neve console analog joint. I think Kansas recorded Left Overture there or something like that. So, but Pepper did some recording there, and he says it's badass. And it's isolated, so New Orleans won't be like tugging at all of us to go party and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're there, and there's nothing to do. There's nothing there. So, But I either I want to record the drums there or at Dave Grohl's studio because I like that his studio is 606 is meant to record drums. Like a lot of people just record drums there. Like Alice in Chains, they did some stuff there, and I think they did a full album there. But then I think the second one they just did the drums there. But anyway, so that's kind of what we have planned for the recording stuff, dude. Is we just keep getting offered tours, which is nice. But like I said,
Yeah. You're going to have to hunker down, man.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Well, you guys have been going pretty for the most
steady.
part nonstop since you got this lineup back together.
Yeah.
Is once the album comes out into 2017, is that the idea to just keep going strong?
Oh,
The new
absolutely,
thing,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, when the album comes out, we're going to be fucking...
Hitting it,
Yeah. Then things will be different because, well, we have a management company we're talking to. We have a label, right? And we'll have a new album, so it'll be... Right now, it's sort of like nostalgia. Like, people are like, I want to hear Albatross or Clean My Wounds or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And that hasn't worn off, but, you know, people want to hear some new stuff.
Yeah.
And particularly with Pepper singing. Yeah, people are chomping at the bit, so... As am I. I can't wait to hear it. It's going to be killer. The best thing is we're all getting along so good. I don't know if you can tell, but we're having a good time on stage, too.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I saw a thing the other day that, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys played a show in Manchester, like on a few hours' notice.
Yeah. Our sound guy over there lives in Manchester. So ordinarily what we do is we fly in over there and we do a rehearsal because he's got connections there for bus and gear and all that other kind of stuff. A lot of people fly to London, you know. And so we showed up and we were going to go to a rehearsal place, and he was like, man, I got a crazy idea. You guys just want to do a surprise show and see how it goes? And I'm like, fuck, yeah, that sounds killer. So yeah, literally like 2 hours. He said it was some buddy of his who owned a pub or whatever. And the next thing you know, there's like 250 people packed in this tiny little place going nuts. Yeah, it was a great show.
With people that knew you? It was, fans?
Yeah, yeah.
Just like a word of mouth.
Word of mouth, fully, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was killer. Because we'd never done that before. Some bands do that, but we hadn't. And I don't think you get a better practice because, you get the vibe. You know what I mean? There's a big difference between rehearsing in I don't know if you guys play, but, in a rehearsal studio and having that thing, you know what I mean?
It probably counts for like 8 or 9 practices.
Yeah, it really does. You're right. Yeah, fully.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you guys, do you mess with the set list every night? Because, I know you changed at least one song from last night because I looked what you played last night or in Memphis, but...
Yeah.
Is it like a
well,
rotating
we're
thing?
limited to 40 minutes, so it's kind of like...
you got like the 3 or 4 you got to play, I guess, but...
Yeah. Yeah, we're not good at we're not like Clutch are really good at switching their shit up all the time.
They do it
like
every night. It's different.
Yeah. And we're not as good as they are at doing that. I wish we were, but also we're the opening band, so we can't go over, Yeah, because that impacts those guys, those two bands. So we're trying to keep it kind of simple and working stuff in and out here and there. Make it fun for us and the fans. Make it different, so it's not the same thing all the time.
Well, one thing I noticed was you guys were loud as hell, and normally an opening band, like especially 2 down, the headliner, you always hear that, doesn't let them turn the shit up.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know is that a thing you guys just did, or Lamb of God's cool with that, I guess, or whatever?
I guess they're cool with that. I'm behind the kit, so I don't know how loud it is or not.
It was seriously louder than I've ever heard an opening band in that place.
Oh no shit, huh? Yeah. Our sound guy likes it loud, that's for sure. He's a good dude, though. John, he works with High on Fire a lot, who are also very loud.
Yeah, they are. Super loud.
Well, the self-titled album and 9, I guess it's 9, right? I don't know if you're
I don't really like
Roman
9
numeral.
very much. It was all right. It sound more like demos to me.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Was that like... obviously the sound's different, so it's like, do you, when you're writing compared to that and this, you got to get in a different frame of mind, or is it just come naturally either way? compared to what you're writing with Pepper. I mean,
you mean the writing process?
yeah. As far as since it's a little bit different style of music, you know.
Yeah. No, I got you. Well, it's kind of the same. I mean, I think Pepper's a better singer than Mike Dean. But it's. I mean, I think Mike Dean's good at what he does, but it's kind of the same. Like we assemble riffs and come up with a basic arrangement of the riffs, and then apply the lyrics and the vocals to it, and then see how that works, and then refine it a little bit. See, with 9 though, that was like one step, I think, premature. I think we should have done those recordings and then recorded them again. But anyway, that's not the way we tell it. Because Mike Dean was out with fucking Caius. That's what it was. That's what it was. I remember now. Yeah, he went out with fucking Caius Lives. That's what it was. God damn it. He was out with him for like 9 months. We recorded all that stuff, and then he split. That's right. That's what it was. Anyway, I think 9's okay. But, so usually we, and people add, and people talk about arrangements and all that other kind of stuff, or maybe it needs an intro, or that's too long, or that's too short, or let's do this, blah, blah, blah. And we're all pretty good at, like, we all basically hear the same things, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how we've written stuff for the most part. I myself like to sometimes write stuff a little bit farther along with the vocals already in place, like Albatross. When I wrote that, sometimes I think if you already write the song musically, you kind of limit yourself in terms of key. Yeah. You limit yourself in terms of how long things can be. You know what I mean? For me personally, when I'm writing lyrics, I like to hear the vocals a little earlier on than once the music's already done. You know what I mean? Yeah. But what we do works. I mean, it's like hard to complain.
Yeah. Well, with like Teenage Time Killer, how was that singing yourself?
How was that? What?
Doing the vocals yourself.
How was that?
Yeah, I mean, because I didn't even know you like took lead vocals and some stuff, so I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, particularly more on like I sang a couple songs on 9. I sang a couple 3 songs on the self-titled, and but I sang in the punk rock days too. Okay. The main reason I sang in the punk rock days was because Mike Dean was the singer, and like people would be stage diving all the time, right? So the mic would constantly during the show being knocked in his damn grill. And he'd get mad. He'd like chase after. He'd throw his bass down and chase after people. So I had to like finish the song. Oh well. So that's the only reason I ever became a singer. But Teenage Time Killers, man, that really happened as more of an accident than anything else.
Yeah.
Because when we did the self-titled thing, I became real good friends with the head engineer at 606. He's a good Southern boy. He's from Tennessee. His name's Lou. And after we finished the self-titled thing, he was like, man, I know you wanted there to be more hardcore shit on this self-titled thing. Because I did. I wanted to do more old school stuff. He said, come back when the Foos aren't in here, nobody's in here. We'll cut like 5 tracks and have a cool little EP or something. That sounds cool. So like 6 months later, he calls me and says, hey, we got some free time. Come out in 3 weeks. I said, yeah. So I called up Jello Biafra with this one song idea I had, and he said he'd sing it, and then I was going to sing the other 4 songs we had. Flew out, and instead of doing 5 songs, we did 11 or something like that. And they sounded killer. And the funny thing is, when I was done just doing that block of songs, I was at LAX about to fly home to North Carolina, and I'm going in my gate, and I see this big tall guy like walking towards me, sunglasses on, big COC shirt. And I pass him and I go, hey man, nice shirt. And he just put his glasses down and his sunglasses. Reed, is that you? And it was Randy Blythe.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I he told me what he was doing, and I told him that I had just done this, and he said, well, fuck, I want to be on that. And it's really because of him that Teenage Time Killers went from 5 or 11 songs or whatever to what it became, because he wanted to sing on that. And I was thinking, well, fuck, if I got Jello and Randy, I should just start asking other people to see if they want to do it. And then when, Corey Taylor and Neil.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it became a who's who. You know what I mean?
Was there anybody you tried to get you weren't able to get it worked out with, or?
Keith Morris from the Circle Jerks, or Off or whatever, said he was going to do it, and then he just got super busy with that kind of stuff. Max Cavalera from whatever he's in now, I don't know how many bands he's in now. The song that I got, Phil Wren from Sacred Reich, I wanted to have it be half him and half Max.
Oh,
It ended up just being,
that'd be awesome.
but yeah, that would have been cool. But
Well, what about Greatest Hits Volume 2?
oh yeah,
Possible.
yeah. We're talking about this. There's a huge, a bunch of people that want to do it. So
So it's a good possibility it'll happen.
oh, absolutely, yeah, for sure. Volume 1 was too much fun, and like I said, Volume 1 was like not planned, so it kind of stumbled our way through it because it was like
Yeah, exactly.
never supposed to be any kind of big thing. It was just going to be a fun little thing.
Yeah. And that's a great title for a first album, by the way. That's fucking awesome.
Oh, thanks, great. I know, my dad thought it was hilarious. We did one show, and we played all the songs on the album, and those guys flew out. Corey Taylor flew out. I think Slipknot and Lamb of God had just finished their tour,
Gotcha.
and they both flew out. Neil had just finished a tour. It was killer. 54 songs. We got every singer got to pick like 3 or 4 covers. So like Neil, we did 2 Clutch songs, which I always want to play Clutch stuff.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I was so nervous when I played with Neil too. And Kick Out the Jams by MC5 he did, and of course Randy wanted to do a bunch of punk rock stuff, so we did Black Flag and Bad Brains and shit. Corey Taylor, what did we do? I don't know, Weirdos, Black Flag, Misfit song. It was killer. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
It was 3.5 hours, dude. I'm old and fat, dude. I was like, I'm gonna die, Jesus Christ.
You need to try to get Henry Rollins out of retirement if you do the second one. Get him to do a
I
track.
think I might be able to get him. Yeah, there's enough people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've known Henry for a long time, but yeah, he's a little weird about playing music now. But I think I might be able to get him to do it.
There you go. You got to do it.
Yeah. He's like, if I could get him, there's a couple of people. Maybe get Glenn to do something.
There you go.
Well, you mentioned the blind tour you did, and of course you guys toured relentlessly without Pepper when you were doing the 3-piece.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, did you ever have? I mean, I know COC.
The idea of doing a everybody thing.
Well, no, I just meant like
Yeah.
when you did those shows, just 3 of you.
Mm-hmm.
I know COC is the type of band that has a diehard fan base, but I always assume that there's some idiot out there that's showing up to the show.
Going, where the fuck is
Yeah,
Pepper
where the
Keenan?
fuck's Pepper at?
Oh
What's
yeah,
going on?
oh yeah, of
Did
course,
that happen
yeah,
every
yeah.
night, or-
Well, because also a lot of promoters would advertise it as if Pepper was going to be there because they knew it would draw more people. They'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" Oh, that was a mistake on our part. We apologize. I remember we were in like Joliet, Illinois, and we got booked into this giant place. It was like the size of this, almost. Well, it was at least the size of Cane's, and I'm in taking a whiz before we go on, and the bathroom is packed, and I hear this angry drunk dude going, "Man, if Pepper Keenan doesn't hit that stage, I'm going home." I'm like, "Oh my goddamn." And that's the way that whole crowd was. It was skewed because that's the promoter just advertised it that way. I was like, so we come out with all this fucking punk rock shit and stuff. It's like not only I mean there was an okay crowd, but the place was enormous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Didn't, you had to have 1,000 people in there to make it look good. So
Nice.
so yeah, of course. I mean that that's for us as musicians and whatever. Blah blah blah. It's been cool that we feel like we can play whatever style and get away with it to a certain extent because we have done a lot of different styles in terms of the punk stuff, and then Blind was more metal-y, and then the Pepper stuff is the Pepper stuff, and but also it breaks the hearts of a lot of fans that just like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you mentioned the joint. Was that where you thought I was going with it? I mean, was that a possibility? Was that something you guys
Well, that's
thought
something
about?
I want. I don't think it'll ever happen because those guys are a little weird about like doing
Keeping them separate.
overlapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Pepper and Carl still have issues with each other. So I mean, I think it'd be cool a night with and do like start with the punk stuff and then do the Carl stuff and then do the Pepper stuff and then maybe do a couple covers with everybody together. I think that'd be sick.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. But you know, at the same time, if you had told me 10 years ago that I would in 1 year span be doing like the 3-piece stuff with those guys and then do a tour with Carl doing the Blind album and then doing this, I would tell you you're fucking insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because the relationships were, you know, a little fucked up. So never say never, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Well, what's like who's the drummer that, or who's the person that made you want to play drums, or was it just Woody saying here play drums?
Well, I the reason my parents bought me a drum kit is because I was getting in trouble at school for like banging on the desk. My parents started a hippie school that I went to. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Billy Jack, but it was like there's a hippie school involved in that movie. Anyway, so my transition from hippie school to public school was a little awkward. And I always stuck out a little bit. But so anyway, I was beating on the desks and I was getting a little bit of trouble. And yeah, they bought me a shitty ass drum kit. Wait, what was your question? You were talking about?
Just like who's the first drummer that
drummers.
made you want to
really
want to do that?
Yeah, I really wasn't playing drums yet at that point, but I loved
Just making noise.
I loved the dude from Iron Maiden, the first Iron Maiden drummer, Clive Burr. That's why I actually bought that Tama kit.
Man.
It was Iron Maiden's first guy. And Chuck Biscuits, obviously Bill Ward. Believe it or not, I never liked Bonham when I was growing up. I like him now, obviously, a lot. I like Ian Pace. I think there's a million good drummers. I don't know. And it's just weird nowadays. You got all those mathy ass fucking. Like, I don't know who played over there, but I'm sure that guy was mathy.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? That the Kitty band, Memphis
Mayfire.
Yeah. That's one of those. What's up? I love you.
Yeah.
You're the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I say kid metal.
Kid metal. Yeah.
Yeah, they need those kind of bands need more of a groove, you know. They need to get dirtier a little bit sometimes, I think.
Yeah, for sure. What else was I going to say? What were we talking about? Yeah, I got a good story about the first big tour we did.
Yeah.
It was us, Testament, and Iron Maiden.
Wow.
We were playing Sheds. Yeah, it was like 91 or 92. It was on the Blind album. And I was kind of managing the band, and I was good friends with Susan Silver, who was managed Soundgarden and Alice in Chains. And I called her up and I said, Susan, I don't know if we can do this. I mean, this is, we're like just a punk rock band or playing Sheds. If you don't do it, you're going to regret it the rest of your life. Either it's going to be a bad experience, which it probably won't, or it'll be a great one. And it ended up being fucking badass. Like, Iron Maiden were super cool to us, and we got to meet the Testament guys, who we didn't know. We know now. And anyway, I had some janked up cymbals. I didn't have any money, and my cymbals all cracked and shit. Same drum kit though.
Wow.
I've been playing that same kit since '83. So the tour was long. It was like 2 months or something. Like it was all summer long. And last show was in Nashville, and it was in the middle of summer, hot as hell, and we had a little tent as our backstage thing. We used to do a cover by the MC5 called Future Now, and it just so happened that Wayne Kramer, one of the guitar players from the MC5, was there and heard about it and wanted to jam with us. So he, that was the encore we did.
Nice.
We had Wayne Kramer come up and play, and we're like, yay, at the end, what a great tour. Well, I'm glad that we did this. It was killer. So we're all sitting in our little tent backstage, a little sweaty, like, fuck, that was killer. And all of a sudden, the fold of the opening of the tent flies open, and here comes Nicko McBrain, holding something like, walking like bow-legged like this, and he sits down beside me and he goes, mate, you're a great drummer, but you need new cymbals. And it was this fucking stack of like 12 or 13 brand new Peisty cymbals that he just gave me.
Wow.
Because he felt sorry for me. And I kill it.
Great.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people say they got cymbals from Nicko, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like $3,000 worth of cymbals.
Right.
That's great.
Isn't that killer?
I was wondering, I saw that you guys reissuing, at least I saw Deliverance and Wise Blood and Americans Volume Dealer on vinyl.
Did you see Volume Deal? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Fucking, wow.
I mean, I don't know if it's out yet, but I saw a post on your guys' page about
Oh, really? Okay,
that
good.
it was coming at some point.
Oh,
I didn't know if
good.
that was just something that a label was doing,
Well,
or if you
once
guys
you-
are involved with that.
Well, I think Prosthetic did Deliverance and Wise Blood, but we didn't even get copies of that. I was like, damn, EJ, what the fuck? And we're friends with the guy that owns the thing.
I got the green one on.
You got the green
Deliverance.
one? I saw one of the green ones yesterday, yeah. I don't think they did very many of them, though, did they?
I think it said like 1,000 or something.
Yeah. And they did some shirts or something, too, I think. Yeah, vinyl. We should be doing vinyl. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a thing now. Again.
Well, it's kind of come full circle, hasn't it? Like,
It has. Really
now
has.
now younger folks want something to hold on to. It's like, oh, yeah, of course. Now
Big
you understand.
artwork.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, me and Randy, we were walking around. We went to the center of the universe over there.
Oh, yeah.
All that kind of stuff. We walked up and saw the children up there getting ready for their metal show at Cane's. Because I wanted to see the wall where we'd played there before, but I don't remember the wall where Sid Vicious had punched.
Yeah.
You know about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's
probably gone now.
Yeah,
right?
they redid it so much in there. They've totally remodeled it in the
Oh,
backstage
yeah.
area, so all that's probably gone. It has to be.
But we were talking about how different things are now. Like those folks get anything they want, anytime they want, anywhere they are. You know what I mean? Where we used to have to wait for stuff.
Yeah.
It was anticipation. You know what I mean? Or like making a flyer. You used to tape and like glue stick, and now people just everything's so easy now. It's like no, it's different.
Just click of a mouse button.
But I mean, that's one of the things about vinyl is you can hold it, you can look at it, and there's lots of cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's made such a big comeback because it's an important part of my,
Oh yeah, definitely.
growing up and theirs, I know for sure. But we were lamenting like the old days when they just don't know. They don't have any idea. They can't conceptualize the idea of having to wait for something.
Yeah. They can just Google the lyrics. I remember if the lyrics weren't in the CD or the cassette booklet, you were fucked.
Yeah, you had to like listen to it. What the fuck is that?
Cool, man. You got anything else?
I think we wrapped it up, man.
Cool.
Covered it all. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. That was awesome.
Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, brother. Oh, thank you. Thunderground.
There you go, Reed Mullin from Corrosion of Conformity.
That's right. COC, baby.
Yeah. Thank you to Liz from Earsplit PR for setting that up for us. Thank you to John, COC's tour manager, for, facilitating everything that day and helping us get that set up.
That's right.
And of course, thank you to Reed for spending time doing it.
Yeah. It was total honor, privilege. One of those things where you're wrapped up in a story and you're like, oh shit, what do I got to ask next?
Right.
And fumble in your phone. But it was awesome.
Yeah, and if Reed or anyone from COC is listening, when you go back out on headline tour and you're in the Midwest, we might be there. So I would ask you to play Long Whip, Big America, and Diablo Boulevard.
There you go.
That'd mean a lot.
They might do it. You never know.
Yeah.
And I got to throw in a little note. Pepper Keenan, his shirt was the baddest shirt fucking I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Give me Diamond Head till I'm dead. I want that shirt.
That is perfect. That yours would say, give me Saint Anger until I'm banger. I don't know. I couldn't
What
rhyme
the
anger.
fuck? that we talked about that. That's happening, but don't tell him. Don't say the whole thing because I don't want anyone stealing it.
No, I
It's
won't.
gonna be a good idea.
All right. Well, we mentioned earlier our website. It's thethunderunderground.com. Later this week, Ian Moore is going to be on our podcast here, as well as the rest of the Lossy Coils, which is his band that he's got currently.
Yes.
And that's another one. Like we said, if you had told us that when we were 16 or 17, we probably would have lost our mind.
Oh, no kidding. I mean, it's not metal, but, we do what the hell we want. It doesn't have to be. It just has to be good.
Yeah. Any and more is the definition of good.
That's
or
right.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. And we've also got in the next week sometime, we will have a Rocklahoma preview episode.
That's right.
And we'll have Kevin Graham on this.
That's going to be a fun one.
And if you're from the Rocklahoma campgrounds, you probably know Kevin Graham. And if you don't, you'll recognize him.
Yeah,
because he's like the king or the mayor of the campgrounds. You see him everywhere. He's always got on something, whether it be the battle jacket or whether it be the crazy
some
loud
crazy
colors
suit.
and skull masks and
or Captain Spaulding.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing though, is if you don't know Kevin Graham, the name, if you're out there and you see this guy, be like, that's him. That's who that guy is.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely know him. So this should be a fun one. Get the beers ready. Yeah. And I hope you people out there in podcast land don't mind slurred speech, because there might be a little bit of that by the end of the episode.
Right. Yeah, we're going to go over similar to what we did last year. One of our first ever episodes was a preview of Rocklahoma 2015. So we're approaching a year now here.
That's right.
And so here in the 60s, we'll have the preview of 2016, which we're just going to go over everything we're looking forward to, things we're not looking forward to, and, just some stories from past Rocklahomas.
That's right.
Just like we said, Kevin will be here, so it'll be just a good, fun conversation, I believe.
That's right.
And that night, then we're going to check out the band Kill 'Em All, which is a tribute to Metallica, obviously with that name.
Yes.
And they're playing the Shrine in downtown Tulsa.
Be there.
Yeah. There's some other great area bands opening up. Archon from Oklahoma City, Searching for Sanity.
Yes.
And I know there's a couple more in the bill. I'm drawing a blank right now, but we'll talk about that, obviously, more once it happens. And do you think that will play Bleeding Me?
Probably not.
So no Outlaw Torn or...
No.
None of that stuff.
No Thorn Within.
Right.
No Ronnie.
Mama Tried. Or Mama Tried.
Mama
Said. Or what about Frantic?
Doubt
my
it.
lifestyle determines my death style.
I doubt it.
All right.
I doubt it. Sorry, Trent.
Well, I don't want to go then.
You're going.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, they might play some Diamond Head.
That would be badass.
And we'll play at least one Diamond Head song.
Am I Evil? Yeah.
I could almost guarantee you, since their names Kill 'Em All. From
Yes. Oh, yeah.
But anyway, again, TheThunderUnderground.com. We're on Facebook. It's /The Thunder Underground. We're on YouTube at The Thunder Underground. We're on Twitter, THNDRUNDR Ground. We're on Instagram at The Thunder Underground. And we're on Periscope at Thunder Underground, all one word. And then SoundCloud.com is /Thunder-Underground. And we've had people from Sons of Texas, Overkill, Warrant, Europe, Miss May I, Battlecross twice, Shooter Jennings, Crowbar, Down, of course. We had one of Pepper Keening's old bandmates, Kirk Winstein.
That's right.
And, he talks about Down in that as well. Crowbar, obviously. And then we've got, what else am I forgetting? Tons of stuff.
We got
Insight.
Insight. There's a lot of episodes of just
Murder
us,
FM. Sorry.
Murder FM, yeah. There are a lot of episodes of us just talking about music, geeking out and playing some tunes. Check those out.
Yeah.
A lot of local guys, like, we played Screaming Red Mutiny earlier. We got them. Driver, Severmind, Cody Slane from Blackwater Rebellion and Scorned, Scott and Jana from Rocket Science, 9 from Dead Metal Society, Jason Ghilardi from Caroline Spine and Dead Metal Society, Steve Ray from Oklahoma Braves, Chad Malone from Senior Fellows, and
CJ Pierce from Giant Pool.
We've got so much stuff, so just start digging back through there and find some stuff you like,
Yeah, pull it up, hit play, and let us know what you think. TheThunderUnderground@gmail.com, or of course you can message us on Facebook.
Yes.
All right. Anything else?
I think I'm gonna go and I see some beer in my future.
All right.
It's hot, it's sunny, it's Saturday, I don't have to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some of that shit going on. So let's get out of here.
Yeah. Well, this is Monday, right? You don't have to work on Tuesday?
No.
Oh, this isn't live. That's right. Happy Mother's Day to anyone that's a mother.
That's right.
Yesterday, if you're listening to this when it came out.
Exactly.
If you listen to this 4 months from now, happy Labor Day.
There you go. All right, Trent, it's time to go, dude.
All right. Till next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.